Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we're going to demonstrate and show you how we built our deck mounted swiveling bird feeder hanger system. And I know that's a mouthful, but it pretty much describes what we got here. We did a video a while back about our suet feeder over here at the far end, and we promised a video about how we made our system for hanging them out there. And basically in a nutshell, this thing is built so that it swings. And the reason we do that, we wanted our bird feeders out over the railing, so when the birds did their business, it didn't fall on our deck. When they spilled seeds or whatever, they were out. That stuff was out in the yard instead of making a mess on our deck. And it also makes it easier, like our bird feeder here. If we want to add bird seed, we just pivot it around. Now our bird feeder is right here where we can get to it to refill it easily. After we fill it, we just pivot it right back out. And it's back out over the deck railing where, like I said, all the mess from the birds and the seed and everything falls out in the yard instead of making a mess on our deck. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And also we have a playlist that if you want to see our video about the suet feeder to keep squirrels off of it, our bird feeder build videos, our bird house videos, I put a link up here in the corner to our playlist about all of our bird related videos. So if you're interested in any of those, just click on the link that's up here in the corner. It'll take you to our playlist that has all of our bird related videos. Now to get started with your build, you're gonna need parts. The first thing you need, this is called a floor flange. I'll put a close-up picture up here in the corner of this, but you can get these at your hardware store. Basically it mounts flat on the floor. You'll need to get usually 4 screws to mount it to the floor. Get some nice wood screws for mounting it to the floor of your deck or wherever. And it is threaded, and those threads are what gives you the pivoting action of this. This rod here is actually pivoting in the floor flange. And occasionally we'll put a little drop of oil in there to make that work a little smoother. But that's the first thing you need is a floor flange, and make sure you get the diameter that matches the diameter of the pipe, okay? Now the next thing you need is your pipe. Now, when we first built this, we didn't have this piece going out here. We only had the upright and this part with a bird feeder on it, okay? But whatever you decide, measure how much pipe you need in total. Now, go to your hardware store, big box store, local hardware store, it doesn't matter, and look to purchase one piece of pipe that's that long. And in most cases, they can cut it and rethread the ends that were cut for you. Now in my area, I found that that was cheaper than buying individual pieces. Now you can buy pieces like this, about any length you want that's already threaded on the ends. But if you go that route, in my area anyway, I found it more expensive. So I bought one long piece of pipe. I had them cut it. I had them rethread the ends that I needed threads on, and that saved me some money. Now you think about where you're going to have joints. If you got a T like this, you need one of these. You can get these in the different sizes for pipe. You can get them as black pipe. You can get them as galvanized like this one. I don't have just an elbow, but this is just an elbow here. You need those for whatever design you're going with. Like I said, when we started out, we had the floor flange, this piece of pipe, one elbow, and this piece of pipe. And that was it for the pivoting system. And this is a modular system. You can add or remove parts as you need to for whatever your situation is. But and I'm getting buzzed by the hummingbirds. They want to eat. And also this, I originally put this on here just as a handle to hold on to move things. It works really well for that. But the birds also love this as a perch. This is just a 1/2 inch threaded rod, a nut on either side, one lock nut to lock it in place so it'll stay there. And I took another one and I put it out there. I did that as a perch. And the birds love these perches that I put on here. Just a threaded rod, a couple of nuts, drill a hole through your pipe, put it in there. You got a handle, you got a perch for your birds. They work great. So that's it for the materials that you need, except for paint. If you want to paint it, I would recommend paint, but you don't have to. So those are the parts. Oh, and one other thing you're going to need is right here, and I'll put a close-up picture of this in the corner. This is a bracket that you would use for like clamping pipe or electrical conduit or something to a wall. Get one that's bigger than the pipe that you're using because you don't want it to be tight. So in our case, you can see it wiggles in there, but that's okay. You don't want it tight. You want it loose so your pipe can swivel and make it function properly. So that's about it for the parts. Now we're going to get a little more detail about making this thing. All right, this is easy. Her friend Prim, they're helping me a little bit today. Maybe not too much help. But the first thing you want to do is install your floor flange on your deck. And where you install it this way is dependent partly in this part of your railing. You want to make sure that when you install this, the pipe is straight up and down. You don't want it leaning. So you need a level. In my case, mine's magnetic, so I can just put it on there and leave it. But make sure that it's going to be straight up and down when you mount your floor flange. You would need your level like this, because if your flange is out this way too far, your pipe's going to lean out. If it's back too far, it's going to lean toward the house. So make sure and use your level and put that floor flange in a spot that your pipe will be straight up and down in relation to this part of your deck. Now after you get your floor flange installed where you want it this way, you're going to install this bracket here that holds this part of the pipe. And this one you're worried about this way. And between those two adjustments keeps your pole straight up and down. So you want to put your level this way and adjust your bracket to your level is showing that your pole is straight up and down. And then here again, use some kind of deck screws or stainless steel or something here that won't rust. 2 screws mount that bracket, that mounts your pole, and your pole will be straight up and down. At this point you should have your floor flange installed, you should have your bracket here installed, and your pipe should be in there. But if we're going to take our pipe out, so unscrew this pipe and lift it out, because we still got to drill holes and put it together. Okay, so after you take your pipe out, you need to decide if you want a handle like this, and if you do, where you want it. You need to drill a 1/2 inch hole through your pipe. You'll need a metal cutting drill bit to do that. Like I said earlier, this is 1/2 inch threaded rod. I got a nut on either side with 1 lock washer to secure it in place. If you want a handle or a perch, that's what you do with the perches. The perch out there, I just put the threaded rod halfway through so it sticks out on both sides. Same 2 nuts as here, and that's how I did the perches. Now for the for hanging, like for our bird feeder, this is just a little J hook. I just open the opening up a little bit so it'll be easier to get our bird feeder off and on. We can just lift it off, lift it back on. But just like the perches, just drill a hole through your pipe, 2 nuts to lock it down tight, turn it the way you want it, and you're set. After you get the perches put in, after you get your bracket put in, but don't put this on yet, okay? If you put it all together before you put it up, it gets difficult to handle because you got a lot of weight up here. Obviously you're not gonna have your bird feeders hanging yet, but you know, this pipe's fairly heavy. So just after you get your holes drilled and your perches installed in the pipe, put this part back in, thread your elbow at the top, and then thread that onto it and tighten them down. Now that's the basic install for this deck-mounted swiveling bird feeder hanger system, and you know, you should have the details that you need to build one similar to this. One thing I forgot to talk about earlier was the size of the pipe. Now this pipe is 3/4 of an inch in diameter. If you have something smaller, 1/2 inch pipe would work. We got another build that we did some time back that's a bit taller and wider and heavier. We use 1 inch pipe for that, but this 3/4 inch pipe I think works well for most people. And so anyway, we want to talk about the flexibility of this system. It's kind of like Lego. These joints are not permanently together. They're not welded or soldered or anything like that. They're not glued. So, over time, if, what you want changes, you want to add something, remove something, you just take it apart and do it. Like I said earlier, we started out, we had this piece of pipe, that fitting, and this piece of pipe. We decided we wanted to hang our suet feeder. We took this off, we added this T, little piece of spacer there. I'll put a picture of this up in the corner so you can see it better. And that gave us the flexibility to add more features to this hanger system that we've got. And so that's one of the great things about this system. You modify it and change it to suit your needs. I like the flexibility of it. The next thing we want to talk about is safety. My second tip here of 3. This stuff hanging out over your deck is cool. In our case, from the ground up to this feeder is probably about 20 feet. So we don't have to worry about people running into this stuff. But if your ground level is up, make sure that this stuff isn't out where somebody can run into it and get hurt. Just be aware of that. And if you do a handle like we did on this one, normally our system is about in this position, and this handle extends slightly over the edge of the railing. So if somebody's out here on the deck and they're moving around, they don't run into it. If you leave it where this is a little bit inside and somebody's out here on your deck, they're talking, next thing you know, they run into this thing, they get hurt. So just be aware of the safety aspects of these parts hurting people. Like I said, our handle here normally extends just outside the railing where people don't run into it. That's the normal position for it. The next thing I want to talk about is placement, my third tip. When we decided where we were going to put this, what we thought about was right behind the camera is double doors, French doors. And just on the other side of those doors is our dining room table where we sit and we eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. And we can sit there at the table and watch our birds eat while we're eating. And we really enjoy that. Just over this way is the window for our kitchen. We spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and from there, we got a good view of the birds as well. So think about the placement of where you put this system before you start mounting it to get the maximum viewing enjoyment out of your birds. And so that's about it for installing this hanger system for your birds on your deck. And we've really enjoyed ours. This has been here about 2 years now, and we've modified it and over time a little bit, but we've really enjoyed it. So that's it for this build. And if you enjoy this video, please click like. And if you got friends that you think would enjoy this, please share this on social media with your friends. It helps us to grow our channel. And if our channel grows, we can do more videos like this to help you to do things to save money and do things yourself. So anyway, that's it. We'd like to say thank you for visiting. Do it yourself with Wayne. We hope you're subscribed to our channel, and have a great day.